Everybody knows that one of the most important things to do on holidays is to tell everyone online, hey, I was here. But with the online landscape being that everyone's been to Tokyo, Osaka or Kyoto, everyone's looking for places that are niche but not so niche that you'll be completely lost with no online information about the place whatsoever.
Ara-ara kimochi. Ara-ara kimochi. Ara-ara kimochi.
Therefore, today, with the help of AI once again, we'll be exploring 2 day trips I took from Osaka, watching the locals of Nara attack tourists, and visiting Kyoto by the sea in Miyazu, home of one of Japan's 3 scenic views, according to online, Amanohashidate, or Heaven's Bridge, before relaxing in the sleepy Ine Fishing Village, which some call it the Venice of Japan without the rivers. Being Japan's first permanent capital in the year 710, when Nara was known as Heijo, the historical significance of the city is probably why it is still home to many of Japan's traditional architecture. From the streets to the old arch temples, you can really see why. And located less than an hour away from Osaka, which cost us around 800 yen, Nara is basically a perfect break from the lights of Osaka. Despite all this historical and architectural significance, Nara is more commonly known among tourists as that place in Japan with the deers. Our journey begins at Osaka Station, taking the JR Yamatoji line to Nara Station, where the heavens wept for our arrival. Unable to proceed any further, we decided to have a nice breakfast at the station in Yayoi-ken Nara Station, which serves up nice home-cooked food, if your home is Japanese and actually knows how to cook. And if you're American, I think you're gonna need 3 servings to be full of this. Nevertheless, the stuff tasted real good, especially on a cold rainy day like this. The start point of the trip recommended to us by the AI was Nara Park, which boasts the highest spawn rate of deer gang activities. But if we followed that blindly, we would have missed what I assume is the main shopping district in Nara, called Naramachi, which was on the way if you go by foot anyway. Toasting the buns on the spot, the crispy melon bread coupled with the ice cream is just a perfect combo, even on a cold day. Besides that pretty damn good melon bread, the other popular shop in the area is this place that is renowned for having Japanese men perform domestic violence on mochi with a hammer, which I unfortunately missed the show times for. It just tasted like mochi and red bean. I don't know what else to say. It wasn't too sweet. On the way to Nara Park, there's also a pretty cool temple controlled by the deer gang, so sometimes you gotta watch out for their crap on the floor. And no, I'm not gonna show it on the screen. They just look like little Maltesers.
What do you think the coolest thing to see in Nara? This.
Konbanwa.
Must taste like this.
Oh. Flying deer. Come on. Come on, you want rice breakfast, huh, dear? Sir, have you seen a deer get run over before? Okay. You got the maintenance deer. You got the normal deer. See, they swarm people with it, but they don't swarm the man. Makes no sense. The AI also recommended us to go to this Isuen garden, but deciding we've seen enough green and that we're not spending any more money to see more trees, which the AI didn't tell us we had to pay for it, we left, only to end up paying money to see trees turn into a big ass temple. Nara Park is basically the main place people would come when they visit Nara, home to one of Japan's most iconic temples, Todaiji. Most commonly known for looking like you'll have a Sekiro boss fight within, Todaiji was one of the world's largest wooden structures once, housing a 15-meter bronze Buddha statue, making you feel like the puny little man that you are. Apparently, Nara's title of being Japan's capital was stripped in 784 as the Buddhist temples of Japan, with Todaiji being the headquarters, grew so powerful that the capital was moved to lower their influence on government affairs. And looking at the size of the temple grounds, I can't really see why. What I cannot see is a bunch of monks imposing martial law. As such, the Buddha's Hall is not the only part of Todaiji, as the temple grounds stretch across Nara Park. Which brings us to our last landmark of Nara, the February Hall, which offers one of the most beautiful views of Nara, free of deer shit. Like most locations, this place will probably look a lot cooler at night with the lit lanterns and such, but reigns pretty cool with the ray tracing and all. Keeping with the theme of somehow getting back too late, we once again find the struggle of finding food late at night in Osaka that doesn't have a long ass queue. That is, until we were shown the light. Why does this place operate from 11 AM to 5 AM? Why are they playing Muse songs that will most likely get me copyright striked? Why are there so many random ramen stores that are so damn good around here? Well, I'm not a travel show host, so I'm not gonna give you any of these answers, nor ask the owner for an interview. All you need to know is that the broth here is thick as a bowl of oatmeal, full with flavor and... it's making me hungry again, so I'm not gonna look at it anymore. With that, this ramen place ranks number 1 on the ramen we've had on our Japan trip. Definitely worth clogging your arteries for. We're so getting the rock. The warm sun, the gentle sea breeze, the random tourists taking pics outside some villager's house,
my lens ain't long enough.
The sand that gets everywhere. No, those aren't air freshener flavors, it's Amanohashidate, the paradise by the sea in Kyoto. But first, our journey begins with mass confusion on the railway. You see, the train lines are like an illegal immigrant. The documentation is just everywhere, from timing to prices, due to different companies owning different lines. Sometimes one platform can even service 3 or 4 different trains. Therefore, research is key to navigating your way around Japan. Eventually, you'll know you're near when you start seeing more locals than tourists, and your train gets fancier reskins. Now, of course there is a bias for Japanese products, but the trains here honestly make me wonder why people in Singapore love local trains. Our models may have different brands, but in the end they all look the same personally. No reskins, no different interior, nothing. Just the same shit. The pass to buy here would definitely be the Amanohashidate and Ine Tourist Pass, giving you unlimited free access to the bus, which is the sole means of transport here besides private cars. Stamp collection seems deeply ingrained in tourism for Japan, for both locals and foreigners. A way to sort of gamify exploration, if you will, with most temples or shrines offering Goshuin stamps, where masters draw area-exclusive calligraphic arts on a specific holy book that can only be bought at temples or shrines for a donation of 200 to 500 yen on average. Be sure to ask them before recording though. Take note that the streets leading to the sandbar is pretty much the last spot with lots of food, so here is where we tried a local delicacy, asari don, or clam rice bowl, and boy did they clearly not have a clam shortage around here. I ordered the asari porridge instead, god knows why despite the hot ass weather, but it didn't disappoint. I usually hate seafood due to the fishy taste most clams have, but this one was just right.
Steamed clams.
The sandbar here really makes you feel like you're in a city pop album cover, and you can experience it in many ways.
On this famed Japanese beach we have the legendary sea berry. It comes straight from the source of the ocean. From an elusive farmer named Seaman.
Say seaman.
Goodbye.
As you can see, we clearly opted for the walk, taking in the chill sights and vegetation. Even discovering a NPC spawn glitch firsthand.
Jesus is fish.
The beach here is more commonly seen from the top of two hills flanking each end of it. And our free pass gets us a free acrophobia experience up top the northern side's Kasamatsu Park, run by men who look like they got the president. For those weak-blooded, I mean people who are afraid of heights, you can also opt to take a tram up instead of dangling your legs from a floor up. Apparently one thing tourists do around here is take pictures of the sandbar between their legs to have it look like a dragon ascending up into the sky. Sounds cool, but I've got a better idea for this one. Never seen a sky that blue back home since that time I had mouthwash dumped in my eyes. An ancient Japanese saying once said, "The further you get from JR lines, the less Americans you see." Therefore, we venture further out to Ine Village. Like fish in a barrel, our first attraction of Ine Village is the experience of being bird food, sailing along the village's coastline while being aerated by various seabirds, free of charge with the day pass.
Where's the rifle?
You're gonna bite your finger off or something. The birds here live on a healthy diet of kelbee prawn crackers. And for those with BTSD, I would recommend sitting inside the boat for this one. Clearly under a contract with the captain, the birds will leave you alone after a while. One thing many tourists don't know about these birds, however, is that they can grab the food with both their beaks and talons, and while neither do much damage, you have to remember that they step on their own shit all day. And I'll leave the rest for imagination. Maybe we came too late or something, because most of the things like cafes in the village center were closed, but a chill walk outside the houses of random fishermen is always a surreal thing to do. What was open, however, was the most out-of-place crepe store ever, and very unfortunately this was the best crepe I've had in my life. How am I supposed to come back here and buy it? Does this place look like Venice? If your definition of Venice is having houses along water, then yeah, that would count, but that would mean even a flood counts. At least it's not sewage water here, because bleh. But I haven't even been to Europe, so I can't even tell you what Venice really looks like. The sun setting was the cue to finally head back, as getting lost in the countryside of Japan meeting some robotic fishes or something is really not fun. So I'm just gonna end it here with the tier list update. With sights that look like an anime's beach episode without the depressing endings, great food and chill moods all around, Amanohashidate and Ine Village definitely deserves an S tier. Just don't come with a truckload of people. On the other side, we've got the city of clothes-eating deers and traditional architecture, Nara, shining brightly despite the rainy weather, and is also deserving of the S tier from me. Stick around sometime soon, hopefully, for our next phase of the trip where we explore the city of 10,000 shrines, the place with more Americans than locals. And no, I'm not talking about the nearest Starbucks.
Skyrim belongs to the north.